Hi VC, this is Alex coming at you from Southern California. This is my first video, so hopefully I'm not adding to the circle of mediocrity. Hopefully I add something of value. Been following Fred's fantastic 1970s posts. Love the discussion going on. What I decided to do is to pick a couple of records from each of the first 5 years, 70 through 74, that I thought that I haven't seen posted yet. Doesn't mean that they haven't been, at least haven't been in the videos that I've seen. A lot of these, I think are pretty popular in the VC, but so here we go. So for 1970, my first one is the Art Ensemble of Chicago, L'Estanza Sophie. Fantastic soul jazz record. Of course, fantastic lineup with Roscoe Mitchell. Vocals are incredible by Fontella bass. This one is a reissue on soul jazz, of course. That first track is just fantastic. I believe it's called Theme the Yo-Yo. So that's my first one for 1970. My second one, of course, Niagara has been shown quite a bit in the VC. Like I said, I have not seen this one posted before, and in part because it's probably a very difficult record to find, and in part because it was very recently reissued. In fact, I got my copy just a few weeks ago in the mail. This is, I guess, some categorized as krautrock. I would say it's pretty tough to categorize. Obviously, there are some members of krautrock groups that take part here, but basically it's all percussion. And it's just, it's hard to describe, but it really, there's so many layers here, even though it's just drums that are being played here. Very famous record. Happy to show it. Moving to 1971. This is another one that was just reissued. I just got this one over the weekend. I don't remember who in the VC recommended this one before. It's Time and Place by Lee Moses. It's a fantastic soul record. He was a guy that was sort of forgotten. I think he only put out this record. Originals are extremely hard to come by, and is only recently reissued. California Dreamin' here is a fantastic track, and to me this is the epitome of 70s soul. His vocals are just fantastic. The players are great. This one is in colored vinyl. Maple Records, I guess, is the label that reissued this recently. So get them all you can. My second one from 1971 is Mol Waldron's Black Glory. This is one of my favorite jazz records, and this is one that was definitely a VC recommendation. Just a trio setting here: Waldron, Jimmy Wood, and Pierre Favre. There's a live recording at the domicile, and just the piano riffs, especially on that first track, are just mind-boggling. So modern, and at the same time, not. I mean, it really, it's hard to describe, but it's just a fantastic record. This is a Japanese pressing that I got. Great record. Moving on to 1972, we have Ornette Coleman with Science Fiction. Fantastic lineup on this one as well. We got Charlie Hayden on bass, Billy Higgins on drums, as well as Ed Blackwell, who of course played drums with him quite a bit. on several records. Extremely tight playing by the band throughout. There are some vocals here and there. A vocalist I'm not familiar with, Asha Puthli, in a couple of the tracks that accompany the music really well. In some ways, maybe not quite as good as the Stockholm, trio records, which are probably my two favorite Ornette Coleman records. But it's right up there. It's definitely an excellent Coleman record. My second one from 1972 is Agitation Free's Malesh. Agitation Free was the house band at the Zodiac Free Arts Lab in Berlin, which basically was where a lot of the first krautrock bands were performing to small audiences, and where krautrock really was born in a lot of ways. These records, there's a reissue from a few years ago. These have not been easy to find. Certainly originals are very hard to find. So I think for that reason, this band is not as popular as some of its contemporaries, but I know in the VC it's a very, very popular record, and a great one. Psychedelic at times, it definitely brings in some of the African and Eastern influences that are fundamental to krautrock. Moving on to 73, we got Brain Ticket with Celestial Ocean. This band's actually Swiss. And again, Brain Ticket stuff really has not been, reissued recently that I know of, and a lot of these records are not easy to find. I was lucky to pick this one up from a dealer that had a great krautrock collection posted on eBay recently. So this fantastic, psychedelic, synth heavy, outstanding percussion on this one as well. Extremely trippy, fantastic krautrock on this one. Second one from 1973, and I got this one playing in the background, is John Fahey's Fair Forward Voyagers, Soldier's Choice. This is on the Tacoma label. Pretty cool artwork on the back too. John Fahey, of course, famous for his finger-picking style. I haven't heard all of his records, but I think if you had to start somewhere with John Fahey, this is probably a pretty good place. It really, brings in all of the different influences, whether it's, Eastern raga music, even some, Mexican riffs, of course, blues. It's all blended in waves and waves of continuous music. There's 2 tracks per side, so he really gets a chance to explore a lot of different themes. Excellent. I don't think I've seen any Fahey so far. Moving on to 1974. Very surprised I haven't seen this one yet, and maybe I just missed it, but very famous soundtrack by Alain Gouraget, Le Planète Sauvage. Superb, rock jazz soundtrack. I don't think I need to say a whole lot about this one. This one was reissued on Superior Viaduct a couple of years ago. I was lucky to find it. Fantastic French record. Sort of library music. Very good, very good. My last one here for 1974 is Karun Kial with Alaman 1985. Sorry, Alamani 1985. This one is pretty obscure. This one was reissued a few years ago for the first time since it came out in '74. Very, very difficult to describe, but I would compare it to, you know, sort of the intersection of Captain Beefheart, some of the early kraut rock of, say, you know, Kraftwerk, and even some of the vocals remind me a lot of some of the early '90s Tom Waits even. This band is actually Japanese, so, you know, I can't really understand a lot of the lyrics. Really fantastic record. This was reissued on Phoenix Records. I don't think I have anything else on that label, but definitely check this one out if you've not heard of it. I'll throw one more in, sort of a honorable mention here. This one by The Color Green by Cybele Bayer. She was a German housewife, an amateur musician who basically had a bunch of home recordings from 1970 to about '73. And I think she distributed some copies of this record to like friends and family, so it was never got a proper release. This one was reissued, well, not reissued, but issued for the first time on I think it's American Dust Records. Very sparse, beautiful voice. It's sung in English with a little bit of a German accent. Just simple finger picking guitar work. Really, really excellent record if you love singer-songwriter type stuff. So that's it. It's my first video. Hopefully you guys found it interesting. Maybe I'll do a 75 through 79 post sometime soon. Take care.